My name is Anish Katecha. I'm the head of medical education here at Learna. I'm a GP by background and been a GP for nearly 10 years now, and joined Learna about 18 months ago. And really excited to have you all on the call and to be interested in our courses. Really, I kind of wanted to just give you a little bit of housekeeping, if that's okay. When we've run these before, we really find the more you engage, the more questions we have, the better for you and for us. So could I please kind of ask you to use the chat function, if that's okay, to give us any sort of questions you've got. Ideally, I would ask if you could keep your mics muted and also your cameras turned off if possible. That would be really ideal because of the numbers we've got, and some people in areas where they may not have the best internet connections or bandwidth. We often find that just this runs a little bit smoother. So mics muted and videos off if at all possible. That would be really ideal. Because this is virtual, I don't need to tell you where the nearest toilets are. But please do kind of stand up, take a little bit of a break, stretch your legs by all means. And of course, I can tell you about the fire exits, but that's only relevant to us here internally. But genuinely lovely to meet you, and thanks for taking an interest in our kind of programs. If I give you a little bit of an idea as to the schedule and the structure of this open day, I think that would be a useful start. So I'm going to introduce the open day, and I'll be your host throughout the afternoon as well. And I'll talk to you a little bit in a second about how our courses really work, what's Learna all about, and where have we come from and where have we got to. We've then got different talks on our university partners. We're going to hear from one of our program leaders as well. We're going to have a demo of our really innovative online learning platform. There'll be a presentation from our admissions team, as well as our student services team too. So a jam-packed hour and a half, and then there will be an opportunity for question and answers at the end. But as I say, as we go through, please do post into the chat any questions that you think of, because we've got people available to answer those questions and then to direct those questions back at us. What I'd really like you to do, as I'm kind of doing this introduction now and talking a little bit about us at Learna, I'd really like you in the chat, if that's okay, to give us maybe your name, where you're living, and what course you're interested in. I'd also like you, if possible, by extension, to maybe say why you're interested in that course. You know, what is it? Is it to upskill knowledge? Is it for career progression? That would really help us kind of identify who you are, what your purpose is, and what you're looking to get out of the course. So please go ahead in the chat and put those details in. As you're doing that, I thought for the next sort of 5 minutes, I can talk about how our courses really work. So if I give you a bit of background, a bit of context, Learna is a provider of online postgraduate medical education. All of our courses are validated by our partnering 3 universities. We've got 3 universities that we partner with, and all of our programs are validated by those UK universities. That means that although at Learna we conceptualize the programs, we market the programs, we generate the content on the programs, and we facilitate the programs through our tutors. We do all of the marking. Actually, the award, the degree award, will be through the partnering university. So that's how our programs run. Over the years, we've developed over 40 programs. So we've got 40 programs, all postgraduate level 7. And so, you know, you have to be an undergraduate. You'll have had to go through that to get onto our courses, but they're all postgraduate. And they're all really flexible. And I think that's key, really. We've got 4 assessment methods, and all of these assessment methods have been really carefully designed with healthcare professionals at the heart of designing our programs. So our programs are designed by healthcare professionals, and they are for healthcare professionals. So in a nutshell, we've got 4 assessment methods over our programs. We've got our academic forum. This is where we engage our students with really rich clinical scenarios and really engaging discussion prompts. And it's on an online platform, which you'll see in a little while. And actually what we do then is we put some discussion prompts on the online forum, and we ask the students, the cohort of students that we have, which are multidisciplinary a lot of the time. So we'll have nurses, pharmacists, specialist nurses, GPs, family doctors around the world, globally, on these courses. And the idea is they all come in and they discuss the prompts that we put online, and they bring evidence and share their own experiences in order to answer those prompts. We find it's a really rich and engaging discussion that comes from that. And actually that conversation is facilitated and mentored by our tutors. And the tutors are experts in that field for that particular program. And so they facilitate those discussions as you're going through, and then they post another one later in that week. So that's the academic forum. That usually makes up 40%. 40% of your marks are through engagement in this really rich online platform where you're bringing evidence and you're sharing your own experiences based on clinical cases and prompts that we engage you within. That's 40%. 10% comes from a reflective journal. So really, this section is where we ask you and request for you to reflect on the material that you're learning. We ask you to reflect on whether it's changed your practice, and then come back in subsequent weeks and let us know how you've been able to learn that material, how you've digested it, whether it's changed your practice. And actually, what I often find as a healthcare professional, what it's actually shown me, I then need to go and learn further. Reflection's always an upward spiral. And so 10% of your marks for each module comes from a reflective journal. We then have 30% that comes from a end of module MCQ. So 30 questions related on the content that you've covered within that particular module. Okay. So that's 30%, and 20% of the marks comes from a module activity. I get quite excited about module activities. Module activities are usually designed to help with career prospects. So it may be designing a poster as if you were going to present at a conference. It may be peer reviewing or peer marking. It may be writing a blog. It may be designing a patient information leaflet. It may be a narrated presentation. All of these skills that you will develop that will help you in your career progression. It might help you become a key opinion leader. So module activities are really exciting for me because we get some really good results from module activities, and students really engage with them really well. So in summary, for me, I guess, we've got a suite of programs which will be available on our website. We've got postgraduate certificates, which are 6 months long. We've got postgraduate diplomas, which are a year long, and then we've got master's programs then that are a bit longer still. All of them will be modular based, so you either have 3 modules for a postgraduate certificate, 6 modules for a postgraduate diploma, and then you go into the 7th module if you were doing a master's. So a wide variety of programs on offer, and hopefully the assessment methodology that I've described has been clear for you. But if you've got any questions based on that, please do ask away in the chat, and we'll do our best to answer those questions. So that was a small introduction to us at Learna and how our programs really work. I'd like, if it's okay with you, like to hand you over to Rachel Ellis, who is our Chief Marketing Officer, to give you an introduction to our university partners. Thank you so much, Rachel.
Hi everyone. Let me just share my screen. Can everybody see that okay? Yeah. Hi, everyone. My name is Rachel Ellis. I'm the Chief Marketing Officer at Learna. It's a pleasure to welcome you all to our open day. I'm truly excited to be sharing details about our wonderful university partners. At Learna, we understand that choosing the right postgraduate programme is a significant decision. You want that qualification that is recognised and respected and truly enhances your career. And that's why our university partnerships are so important. They are a key part of what makes your qualification not only credible, but also a valuable stepping stone for your future success. So I personally take immense pride in speaking about these partnerships as they represent our commitment to our academic excellence. But more than that, I want to take a moment to recognise and celebrate you, our students and applicants, because you are the ones who are taking this bold and exciting step towards advancing your careers. Embarking on postgraduate study is no small feat. It requires dedication, passion, and a desire to grow both professionally and personally. And every day I see inspiring stories of students balancing work, family, and studies and pushing themselves towards their ambitions and ultimately achieving remarkable things. So today, as I introduce you to our university partners, I know that these institutions share our belief in your potential. While Learna designs and develops and delivers the programmes, our university partners provide validation and rigorous quality assurance, ensuring that your hard work results in a respected and globally recognised qualification. And to make your achievement even more special, you'll have the opportunity to attend an official university graduation ceremony, a day of well-earned celebration. At Learna, we are proud to collaborate with quality and well-respected universities in the UK. These partnerships ensure that your qualification is internationally recognised, opening doors for career progression and enhancing your professional credibility. Our partner institutions bring a wealth of experience and a commitment to excellence that aligns with our mission to provide high quality, flexible postgraduate education. Let me introduce you to our partners. We have the University of South Wales. Our partnership with USW is our longest standing, dating back to 2010. USW is one of the largest universities in Wales, with a strong reputation for its practical, career-focused approach to education. It's renowned for its applied research, industry links, and commitment to employment. It has a long history of working closely with the NHS and healthcare organisations, making it a trusted name in medical education. Our key contact at USW is Dr. Carl New. He's a senior lecturer in physiology and nutrition, and he plays an integral role in maintaining the academic quality and relevance of all of our programmes with USW. USW is also highly regarded for its focus on innovation in healthcare education, providing students with real-world skills that are directly applicable in clinical practice. The university has received commendations for its contributions to medical sciences, and its graduates are known for excelling in their respective fields. Next, we have the University of Buckingham. We established our partnership with UOB, as we like to call them, in 2021. Buckingham holds a unique position in the UK higher education as the country's first private university to receive a Royal Charter. It is consistently ranked highly for student satisfaction, reflecting its dedication to providing a personalised and high-quality learning experience. The University of Buckingham has a growing reputation in medical and healthcare education, particularly for its innovative approach to training healthcare professionals. It has played a key role in shaping the future of medical education by prioritising smaller class sizes, intensive learning, and strong student support. Our link officer is Professor Doug McWhinney. He's a leading figure in postgraduate medical education and ensures that our programmes maintain the high academic standards expected by Buckingham and by us. The university's ethos is centred around producing highly competent healthcare professionals who can make a meaningful impact in the field. Its commitment to evidence-based learning and clinical evidence makes it a valuable partner for Learna. Next, we have the University of Wolverhampton, which is our newest relationship, established late last year. This institution is known for its strong focus on professional development and hands-on learning. Wolverhampton has a well-established school of nursing and allied health, making it an ideal partner for our health-related postgraduate programmes. Wolverhampton's commitment to healthcare education is reflected in its cutting-edge research in nursing, public health, and clinical practice. The university works closely with the NHS and healthcare providers to ensure that its graduates are well prepared to meet the demands of the sector. Our key contact here is Dr. Ben Appleby. He's the head of nursing and principal lecturer, who plays a vital role in shaping the curriculum to align with our industry's needs. The university has been recognised for its contributions in healthcare training, ensuring that students gain practical skills that directly translate to their roles in the healthcare industry. Its strong emphasis is on student success, diversity and inclusion, making it a great fit for Learna. So why do our university partnerships matter? When you study with Learna, you're not just gaining knowledge, you're earning a qualification from a globally respected institution. Each of our partner universities ensures the highest academic standards, so you can be confident that your qualification holds weight in the healthcare industry. And of course, upon completing your studies, you'll receive a formal Postgraduate Diploma or MSc or PG Cert directly from the university. As an added bonus, all our partners welcome our graduates to their official university graduation ceremonies, which are a wonderful celebration of your achievement and always really, really good fun. Now, with 92 postgraduate programmes in our portfolio across over 40 subject areas, we have a wide range of options tailored to different medical and healthcare specialties. And as you've learned here today, each and every programme is validated by one of our university partners. To explore which university validates your course of interest, I encourage you to visit our website, where you'll find full details on the programme accreditation. Choosing Learna means choosing a flexible, high-quality postgraduate education with a backing of a respected university partner. Now, next, I believe we will be meeting one of our programme leaders, but I'll pass you back to Anish to introduce you to our next speaker. Thank you for your time. If you have any questions, please do feel free to ask. There's a Q&A session at the end, and I'm happy to help. Thank you, Anish.
Thank you so much, Rachel. Really appreciate it. A really useful kind of summary of our partners and kind of what the history with them has been. So thank you so much. I really appreciate that. And hopefully everyone, that was really useful for you. Again, the more I've done these, the more I find that as you engage with the chat function, the more information you'll get out of it. So any questions you've got, start putting them in the chat function. We can get around to answering those, or people behind the scenes will start answering them for you. Okay, without further ado, I'd like to introduce to you Dr. Claire Holt. Dr. Holt is our programme leader for our leadership in healthcare with the University of South Wales and healthcare leadership with the University of Wolverhampton. She'll speak to you about the benefits really of completing our courses. And I can see a lot of you in the chat have already started to put, you know, career enhancement and progression is your real driver for doing some of our courses, which kind of marries with kind of what we already know from our alumni. So hopefully Claire will touch upon these for you. Without further ado, Dr. Holt, thank you so much.
Yes, hello everyone, and thank you, Anish. And I don't know how long I've got, so if I start to witter on, I'm an academic at the end of the day, so I
Let's
do.
say 15 minutes.
Oh, fine, I can do that.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Dr. Holt. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, Anish. Yes, hello everybody. I've now been working on the Postgraduate Diploma and Masters in Leadership in Healthcare with Learna and I'm sure Rachel will correct me if I'm slightly wrong, but I think since it started 6-7 years ago. And we're very excited to say that it's also just gone through a refresh. So we've managed to update some of the content and bring it more in line with leadership in healthcare, because things are ever changing, and all of you working in some form of health, social care sector, organisation, whether it's here in the UK or internationally, things are changing rapidly and are only going to change even more rapidly. Hence why I think for me, the topic of leadership in healthcare is such an important one. In terms of a programme leader's role and how we work with our tutors on the programmes and also with you as our students, I suppose the most important thing for me is just making sure that what we are doing is fresh, it is relevant, it's current, and it's up to date. And that is where us programme leaders work with not just other fellow academics who are researchers, but we also work with practitioners. A lot of the tutors, and it's the same on the leadership in healthcare, they're not just academics. Some of them are actually still practicing GPs or practicing clinicians or non-clinicians. And that mix on these programs, I think, is what makes it so unique, is that we're bringing you the theory, but we're also very much bringing in that focus of practice. So being able to understand, this is how I do things. How and what does the theory say? To now, how can I do things with more confidence and better? And what a lot of the learning, I believe, and the feedback that we get from our students as they're completing is the level of confidence that these programs give them. Because what they're doing is they're recognizing that what they're doing and why it's working why it's working and why it's working well is so important. But they're also being given a language that they can use to challenge more effectively in the workplace. It's giving a level of eloquence and articulation. So rather than just saying, this is how it is, they now can think about, what does the theory say? What does it mean in practice? And this is where what Anish has said about the reflective elements of a lot of our learners comes in, is that being an ability to reflect, to then understand how they can apply this in practice and improve their practice, improve their collaboration, and improve how they can actually help with innovation and change. And when it comes to working at the very blunt end, the very sharp end in clinical care and healthcare, working with those patients, so much of that is so very, very important. So when it comes to the learning, I know Anish has taken you through the academic forum and how that works, and I know that there's going to be a demonstration. But I think from my perspective as programme lead and as tutor, what the rich discussions in this academic forum bring is so much learning, not just the theory, not just how it is in one area of healthcare, but what it's like in different areas of healthcare. In one cohort, we can have people from all levels of an organisation, from different disciplines, different specialities, with different length of time in doing their work and their role. Therefore, what happens is this practical element of thinking about theory, applying it to practice, but then learning from different perspective is so, so rich. In fact, I'm just finishing module 6 with a cohort now. And in module 6, in the final week, I do ask them the question, what have you learned from the programme and how are you going to take this learning forward? And so much of what the feedback says is what they've learned from their peers. Not just what they've learned from the studying, not just what they've learned from the tutors, but what they've learned from each other. Understanding what it is like to be a nurse rather than maybe being the consultant. What is it like being non-clinical and working on the more managerial administrative side versus what is it like to actually be working with patients every day? The stress, the abilities of managing stress, understanding change, being able to use it as an element of maybe informal coaching between each other. And for me, and I know tutors will probably agree with me, it's the amount that we learn from all of you as well. That also keeps what we do fresh. That keeps our contributions to discussions fresh. And it really keeps it current. And I think that's one of the most important things. Going back to that point of reflection, the reflective journal that we ask you to keep, That is a really good place for all of you to think about the learning and what it means in practice, but not just the learning in practice, but also what does this learning mean in terms of your future? How can you maybe apply it moving forward? Is it going to help you get that next promotion that you want, or take that next role that you want? Or maybe even for some of you, an international move. How is it applying to you? And when your tutors read those reflections and can provide you with some feedback, again, I come back to that phrase, informal coaching. It's a really useful way for us to help you shape your thinking and shape how you want your learning to take place. Again, I know Anish has touched on it. What we do as well with some of your assignments in terms of the group activities that we organise and the individual activities, the way that we assess you as well as the academic forum, some of those on purpose are very, very rich to be creative. We might ask you to think about theory, but put it in a presentation in terms of maybe presenting it to a stakeholder group to maybe think about things from different perspectives. However, we will also be going back to the good old traditional methods of maybe getting you to think critically, because critical analysis is important, not just as leaders, but also as clinicians and non-clinicians in healthcare. Being able to be critical about what is right and what is wrong. Being able to be critical about why are we doing things this way and why are we not doing things more effectively and efficiently in another way. So there are lots of different reasons why thinking more critically and analytically is also important, which is one of the reasons why a level 7 qualification is so important for those more senior roles that some of you will be either working in already or considering as your next career moves. So ultimately, if there are any questions that are directed for me in the chat, I'm more than happy to address them. And with the Q&A, I'll be hanging around for the rest of the open day. So please feel free to ask anything, whether it's about the leadership or whether or not it's just about the whole process of being a learner on one of our programs, then I'll be happy to address any of those. But for now, I could probably carry on for another 10 minutes, but I won't. We've got a lot of people that have got a lot to say today. So Anish, I hope I covered what you'd like me to cover in that short period of time, and I'll hand back to you.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Dr. Hull. It was almost like prescribed. It was brilliant. Absolutely spotless that was. And I'm a program leader myself on our anti-aging postgraduate certificate, and I just could not agree with you more that, you know, a lot of people come on onto our academic forum, and actually once they get used to it, they really, for me, it feels like a really rich area where you're right. We're all learning from each other. It's an amazing, you know, when you get sort of people from different walks of life, we're from different regions where, you know, their processes aren't the same and they're not used to the same level of what their background is. I think that makes a big difference. You're kind of learning from each other. I think it's a really useful point, that. So thank you.
I think one important point, just to add to that, Anish, is that some people, for example, will come and they may be a specialty nurse in a particular area. And then they see that 2 or 3 people in their cohort may be a consultant, a senior registrar, or maybe even a senior manager in healthcare, and they panic and they get imposter syndrome. And I'm like, no, it's so important that you don't even view or consider that, because ultimately what you're going to be doing is you're going to be imparting your learning and what it looks like from your side versus what they are. And then all of you in this academic forum there's no rank, there's no role, there's no hierarchy, there's just you. What can you bring? What is your experience? What is your knowledge? And what are you then going to take from that? So I make it very, very clear, these academic forums, forget job titles. Just think about what the learning means for you.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more with that. And it's really interesting you talk about imposter syndrome, because before this call, I kind of was told the number of post-nominals and letters you've got after your name. I kind of felt coming on this call, I've got imposter syndrome having you on this call. So it's really interesting that. But I completely agree. As a GP, I'm so keen to keep saying to my nurses in practice, to my pharmacists, to my we've got physician associates with us, our trainees or a training practice, and I always say, look, I don't claim to know everything. In fact, I'm learning from everybody, and I really value the multidisciplinary team massively. So I think that's a really good point that you've made. But congratulations on all of your titles and nominals, by the way.
It's not that many.
Sounds really impressive.
I'm adding a couple more this year because I'm an academic. I can't stop learning.
Oh, fantastic. Okay, so I've got a long way to go before I get to you then. Okay, I'm on it though. I'm on it. No, thanks, Dr. Holt. That was really, really helpful. Thank you so much. Okay, guys, I hope this is going really well. Please do engage with the chat function. Really happy to see lots of you already engaging. And really kind of telling us about who you are, why you're doing the courses, what courses you're doing, really rich information for us so we can tackle some really individual questions for you during the session and then through emails if needed after this. Okay, without further ado, let's move on to the next agenda item. So really for this, I think it'd be useful for you guys to have a demonstration really of how our online learning platform works, and for that there is no better person than our head of learning experience. May I introduce Andrew Stevens to you. He's the head of learning experience and he knows everything there is to know about the learning platform and how to really engage you in a really, really good way and make the narrative, make your experience and your journey with us as valuable as it can be. Over to you, Andrew. Thank you so much.
Good afternoon, everyone, and thanks for that amazing introduction there, Anish.
My pleasure.
I'm not sure I can live up to that, but I'm going to certainly try as hard as I can. Can everyone see my screen? First check.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So the idea is I'm just going to take you through some of the really key things, the way that the platform that we use works, take you through some maybe what the academic forum looks like and feels like and the best ways to engage with that, and take you through some of the things which we've already heard about, like the reflective journal and module activity and the end of topic exam. And the way we're going to do that is we've got a spoof account here, which is specifically for the medical education course. So we're going to take a look at some of these posts which are coming up. I can imagine that you will have questions as we go through this. If you could just put those questions into the chat, we've got people on the chat who might be able to answer them. If you can't answer them then, we'll wait to the end of the Q&A sessions and we can answer some of your questions there. So yeah, without further ado, this is the Moodle as it currently looks. I am a little bit unhappy about showing you this particular version of Moodle this particular week, because in a couple of weeks' time, we're actually upgrading our version of Moodle, our learning system that we use. So we're getting a massive upgrade where everything will look really different and some of the ways you interact with it will be a lot more easier and a lot more smoother. So if you do decide to join our courses, or if you've already kind of accepted, then when you get on, it will look a little bit different to what you're seeing now. Okay, don't be shocked. It's just a little bit of a look and feel change to make everything better for you. If you have applied for our courses, you should have access to this website, which is our Get Set for Success page. We encourage you to come along and take a look at it. It's getset.learna.ac.uk if you haven't already had that invite. We list all of our courses on there. If you just want to click into the course that's appropriate for you, it'll take you through some really key information so you can use that to prepare yourself as best you can for the course. I'm not going to go through that with you now because you can do that in your own time, but there is some really important information on there. So yeah, this is our learning platform. And this is what you would see when you first log into our learning platform on Moodle. Here we have medical education. It's actually module 2. You will probably start with module 1. And then you can kind of click into that to explore the module. And this is what a module looks like. Okay, so we've got a little bit of information at the top here, just some general information on the actual module. And beneath that, we've got kind of the standard things you would expect from any educational course. We've got the aims of the module, we've got some learning outcomes, and we've got a little bit of a summary of the content that you'll be covering. I always find it's quite useful to take a read through all of these before you start any of our courses, because they are the key drivers for your learning, and they should be in your brain. You should be thinking about these all of the time as you engage with the different methods of learning that we have with you. We then have kind of access to libraries. We have a range of different libraries that we use. Our main library search system that we use is called EBSCO. And then depending on which courses you take, there's access to other specific libraries for you as well. And then underneath that, we have the academic forum, which has been mentioned several times. We have the reflective journal, which Claire was talking about in her presentation. We've got the module activity and the end of module exam. And there are 4 main assessment points. The thing that you will be using most if you engage in our courses is the academic forum. So I'm just going to take a little bit of time just to go through the academic forum with you now. If we click in, you can see we give you a whole bunch of information. Now, this could be a massive source of anxiety for a lot of people who may not have studied on an online course before. I myself have done online courses where you join in and it's like, I don't entirely know what I'm doing. So in order to reduce quite a lot of that anxiety, what we do with you starting as of the 10th of March is that we have a study skills introduction week. And in that week, there will be specific bespoke training on how to complete each of those different 4 assessment points I've already spoken about. So that will guide you through exactly what is expected of you, exactly how you will be assessed, and give you that kind of support that you'll need to be able to engage with this properly. What I'm going to do is I'm going to quickly ignore all of the stuff that it's saying in here and click into Academic Forum Week 1. You'll see that each of our Academic Forum weeks are split out. There are 6 weeks in every module, so there are 6 Academic Forum weeks in here as well. So if I click into Week 1, you'll see we have a little bit of an overview on what it is will be covered in that week. So this week it's about performance and testing. And then underneath that, we've got some reading materials. We've got essential reading. Essential reading is reading that you have to do because it will be assessed during the end of topic exam. And then we've got some recommended reading for you as well. And the recommended reading is sort of additional reading that you may want to do. Underneath that, then, you can see that for this particular cohort, the tutor has posted 4 times. You can generally expect the tutor to post 3 times. This one's a little bit of a more than we would expect the tutor to do, but that's because at the bottom here, they've got a summary, and that's just kind of wrapping up the week for the learners. So our tutor here is particularly engaged and they're helping to form your learning by giving you a summary of all of the topics that are covered in that week. So I'm going to click into Scenario 1. Scenario 1 is generally released at about 9:30 on a Monday. Scenario 2 will come in about 9:30 on a Wednesday, and then you will have another scenario which will be posted on a Thursday or a Friday, depending on the time the tutor has. So if I click into the Week 1, you will have a post from your tutor. Because this is the first week, we've just got a little bit of a welcome blurb where your tutor's kind of saying hi, introducing themselves to people who may not have met this particular tutor before and kind of easing you in. And then underneath that, we have our scenario. So the vast majority of our learning happens in these medical scenarios. And the idea is that we give you a scenario, and we give you some questions based on that scenario, and then we ask you to go and explore those ideas. And we ask you to answer the question specifically, but also discuss different ideas with each other. And that's where our really deep, rich learning happens, is in those discussions that you have with each other. So this particular scenario is all about racism and how racism has been exacerbated through the use of examination policies within GP training of GPs in the United Kingdom. So we've given you a journal. This is actually one of the required readings. So we said to you, here's a journal. Here's what this journal is saying. Here's some ideas. And now we've got a question for you. In this case, it's considering the potential influence of racism on a candidate's performance of testing. how can examination bodies improve on their test design to cover for it? Okay, so we're thinking about kind of what is that case scenario, and now we're asking a question specifically about that case scenario. What we would then expect you to do as students is to go away, do some research, and then come back and post a reply to that. So this particular student has come back with their well-researched answers. You can see that it is fully referenced. So they've gone away and they've done some external reading and they've brought that response back. They've then posted that, and that is available for everyone to see. Once that is posted, we then have another student who says, okay, hi, I found that your post is really interesting and insightful. And these are the new ideas that I'd like to bring to your post. Okay, and we've got some different references down here for this student and the information that they've brought to that. And this is then the start of a discussion. So you'll have different responses coming from different students all the way through. Your tutor will also be in here and involved, and here is the tutor who's posted a response saying, yes, thanks, that's a fantastic answer, and really good, well constructed, and bringing in different references to support your arguments. And then as we scroll down, you can see different people are bringing in different responses to that first main question. That is the kind of basis of how the academic forum works. It's about posting a clinical scenario, getting you to kind of understand that clinical scenario, asking some questions, and then getting you to discuss the answers to those questions, bringing your own personal experience in, because the way that we treat hypertension in the UK will not necessarily be the same way it gets treated in South Africa or in Europe even. So bringing your different perspectives from where you currently are practicing into the case scenarios and helping to inform different people that you are studying with of all of the different potential ways there are to treat. There is a lot of really good science behind how this works and why this works. We find that neuroscience of education tells us that the learning happens and strengthens and deepens when you really fully understand a topic and then start to talk about that topic and explain that topic to other people. And that's the real core idea of what we're doing here. We're taking your cases which will be specific to your area of work, and we are developing those and getting you to think about those ideas, to really embed those ideas into your brain, and then discussing those ideas with your peers. And it's in those discussions where your understanding of the topics grows massively. And what we find is at the end of each module, when we do a little bit of a retrospective with you guys about how the module went, we find that the students not only really enjoy partaking in these academic forums, but also find that the depth of knowledge that they get is far, far greater than anything that they would get from a lecture. And that's the key difference between us and going to a kind of normal university, is that we don't sit there and talk to you didactically. We get you to be an active participant in the learning. Your tutor is always there to help to guide you through this course, but they're not going to sit down and say, here's a question. Oh, and by the way, here's the answer. They're going to get you to explore the answers, to get you to find out what that answer is organically through your own research. A really, really exciting place to be. If we go back then to the main page for the module, hit back 3 times. We've taken a look at the academic forum. We've then got this space called the reflective journal. Hopefully, as medical professionals, reflection is already embedded into your practice. But the idea of the reflective journal is to take that and to apply it to the new information that you're learning. So I'm going to use the example of hypertension again. If you're on a hypertension course, you sit back, you're a GP, and you get someone who's coming in with palpitations, and they describe to you your symptoms, and you go, oh, I think I read about that in the academic forum just last week, I can now apply that information that I've learned from the academic forum to this patient, which is right in front of me. And the idea with a reflective journal is just to get you to think about how you are using that information that you are gaining through the course and how you're applying it into your own medical practice. There are a number of different reflective cycles that we recommend you use when completing the reflective journal, but I find kind of the best thing to do is just to take a look at an example. I don't have a student example here because that would be a little bit sensitive, but what I do have is, he says, here we go. What I do have is an example of a reflective journal that we have created in-house. So you can see it's a really short, this is a 1 page, about 500 words, a really short piece of work. So it's not an onerous task. We're not asking you to do loads and loads and loads. It's just a really short reflection on exactly what it is that you have learnt. Just 3 entries over 6 weeks. So again, not an onerous big task. At the beginning here, we're talking about feeling anxious and excited. So what your emotions are and what you're kind of looking forward to learning. In this second entry, just talking about kind of the stuff that you are learning. So in this case, it's a patient with early stage chronic kidney disease and how you're applying that learning. And then at the end, we expect you just to do a nice little parcel of learning. So what have you learned in this module and how have you been able to apply that, and what are your reflections on what you've learned? And that's essentially the reflective journal. Again, this shouldn't come as too much of a new concept to those of you who have who are in the medical profession, because you should be doing reflective work anyway. It's just a way of us making sure that knowledge is getting applied. After that, we have the module activity. So this is kind of your more standard way of assessing that you would get in kind of any other university. So when we go in, you might do a task that is an essay, you might do a poster presentation, you might do a verbal presentation. But it's a way of kind of not just assessing what knowledge you have, but also your academic ability as well, and making sure that you are right into that kind of postgraduate level that we expect. This one is particularly interesting because it's a little bit left field, this module activity. This module activity specifically is a peer assessment course. So what we're doing here is we're asking you to take a look at one of your peers' responses in the academic forum, and then asking you to grade those peers' responses. So what the aim of that is to look at things like, is the knowledge correct? So are they meeting the learning objectives of the academic forum? And in doing that, you then start to reflect on whether or not you have met the learning objectives as well. We will get you to look at their style of writing. Things like, are they referencing correctly? Is this an academic style of writing? Is their spelling, punctuation, and grammar correct? And in doing that, also get you to reflect on whether or not you're achieving that in your own posts. So the idea is, when you're marking other people's work, you're assessing other people's work, but then applying that specific learning to what you're doing as well, much like in the reflective journal. This is very well maybe a very different form of assessment to any form of assessment that you've done before. And so we provide for you some frequently asked questions and some instructions and resources. So things like, how am I marked? Well, we've got a little bit of a blurb about how you're marked there. How often should I check other people's work? Well, there's some instructions and resources there. So like with all of our forms of assessment, there are very specific instructions and guidelines which take you through kind of novel situations that you may not have come across before, that you really want to kind of understand before you submit your work in for. And to that end, there may be questions in here that you do not, there may be questions in here which are not answered that you may have. And so if we go up into this button up here, you can see we have a set of private messaging. And this can be used to ask questions directly to your tutor. So it may be that you have a question on how many words should you write for your feedback for a week. Well, then you can send that question directly to your tutor. It may be that you have a specific question about something medical that you want to ask. Well, then you can ask that question directly to your tutor, and your tutor is always there to support you and to help you through your learning journey, okay? Because this is time agnostic, we expect the tutors to be kind of logging on every day. So if you send them a question, you can expect a response within 24 to 48 hours from your tutor, okay? So that is the module activity. Again, I want to remind you, it comes in many, many different forms. So it could be like essays or poster presentations, loads of other different things that we have. This is just an example of one particular one. The final thing I want to show you, and I'm not actually going to go into it to show you specifics, is we've got this end of module exam. Your end of module exam is going to be 30 case-based problems, okay? And these are multiple choice answer questions. We expect you to answer these questions as best answers. So there may be a few different answers you think, any of these might be true, but we expect you to then select the best fit of those answers. It may be very similar to exams you may have taken in the past. It is the most effective way of assessing a huge breadth of material that we deliver to you within a single module. It is entirely online. It is open book, so you are allowed to have all of your notes open as you go through this exam. But you will only have an hour to complete the exam, and it is 30 questions, which is, for those of you who are good at maths, 2 minutes per question. So there's not a huge amount of time for you to go in and to kind of research answers to questions, actually sit in the exam. So it is a test of the knowledge you've been able to retain throughout the academic forum. They are the main points, the main areas of the Moodle experience that you guys will be engaging with. We have the library as well, and a whole bunch of reading resources for you, but I'm not going to show you them right now because they will be changing significantly from now and over the next couple of weeks. When you join our courses, we will give you training in the library resources and all of that information. But that's everything that I had to say. So yeah, I'm going to pass back to Anishta.
Okay, thank you so much, Andrew. That was really helpful. And guys, hopefully you found that that useful. I think sometimes for our students, a visual representation of the platform and actually kind of the difference between hearing words and actually seeing it visually makes a huge difference to our students, and that's kind of feedback we've had. And so I hope that's been useful for me. Just to clarify a couple of points there, or reiterate is the right word. A couple of points. You know, hopefully you've seen it's a fairly intuitive online platform. For me, the academic forum, the really important thing to say is this is not, I think the word Andrew used there is didactic teaching. This is not, you know, us teaching you per se. Actually, the important thing here is for us to engage you in self-study, in directing you, and that's what the tutor's there for, is facilitating that guidance on, you know, bringing some evidence in, sharing your own experience, sharing experiences of your cohort, which is really important, based on where they might live, the protocols and the processes they might have in place. And it's a really rich place to kind of get a lot of really important information, but also the importance of communities of practice. I think that's what the academic forum does really well. You'll have seen by Andrew's demonstration there that actually the tutors are key to our learning platform. They're really instrumental, and that's why we have a huge we place a huge importance of having the best quality tutors that are there to facilitate, guide, and mentor you through your experience. We're also, as Andrew said, we're in the process of upgrading our online platform, and trust me, there are some exceptionally exciting things coming in about, possibly rewards and gamification. There's lots of different things we're talking about that will become really apparent on the new system that are really exciting in my mind. So hopefully that's been really useful for you all. I think for me, the next thing is to take you over to our admissions team, and we've got the wonderful Kath Scourfield with us, who's the head of customer care and communication. Kath is absolutely lovely. She heads up the function, is really good at doing so, and actually she's so good that she recently this year was our Learner champion at our award. So Kath, congratulations in front of all of these people. Over to you.
Thank you very much. Welcome everyone. Firstly, I just want to say it's so lovely to meet you. I've been going through all of the messages and we've got students from all over the world, which is amazing. So welcome to all of you. Some of you have secured your spot already, which is excellent. So not long to wait. I think all of the questions have been answered in the chat, but if for any reason after this you've got further questions around our admissions process, please feel free to email us at any point. I'll make sure the email address is in the chat. We've got a fantastic admissions team that are on hand to help with any questions that you've got, to help you along with the admissions process. Even if you need any help with your application, or if you're a little bit worried about part of the elements, and if you can meet the entry requirements, then please feel free to email us in and we will respond to you as soon as possible. Now, the application process itself, we've tried to make it as streamlined as possible and really user-friendly. So hopefully when you are starting your application, you can get through it relatively easy. Now, there's a few main elements of the application that we ask for. One of them is your personal statement. That's just for us to find out a little bit about you, really, why you want to do the program, why is it important to you, your previous background, so we can get a little feel for the applicant that you are. We then ask for you to upload a copy of your degree certificate along with a transcript if you've got it. If not, don't worry, a copy of the certificate will be suffice. We then ask for a little bit about your work experience. So again, we know what you've been doing, what you've done previously, your current employment. We did have a question in the chat actually about whether you can apply if you're unemployed. You absolutely can. You don't need to be employed at this particular moment in time in order to be able to apply for the application. So yes, you can still apply for our programs. The other element is around proof of English. So if you are outside of the UK and you haven't studied in a UK university, we do require proof of English. If you have any questions around that, again, please don't hesitate to get in contact with us, as there's lots of different elements to that we can accept. You don't just need to have IELTS. So that's the application form. We look to work an application and approve it within as little as 24 hours. So we do get round to getting back to you quite quickly, so you don't have too long to wait. And if for any reason there's part of your application that you're unsure about, our team will be really specific and let you know and help you every step of the way in regards to filling out your application. Does anybody have any questions at all that they wanted to put into the chat in regards to the application process? As I said, I think we are quite up to date with all of your questions. So I don't think we've got any outstanding, but if you have, please feel free to pop them in here and we'll be able to get back to you and help you every step of the way. So Anish, that's it from me and the application process. Again, any questions, then please feel free to reach out and give us a shout, okay? And again, lovely to meet you all. Thanks, Anish.
Thank you so much, Kath. Really appreciate it. Okay, guys, hopefully this is proving to be useful. Just a quick reminder, if you haven't so far, then please stand up, stretch your legs, because sort of sitting for long periods of time can be monotonous. So please do get up, stretch your legs. Hopefully you find this useful. We've got kind of our last talk now, and then we'll open the floor to any questions that you may have. I've been keeping an eye on the chat, and I think we're keeping up to date as much as possible on the chat. Okay, without further ado, and this is an incredible function. Our student services team, from me is just it's a force of nature. It really is, and I couldn't be more proud of this function of ours, because I think this is really good, and this is kind of where I think we really excel as an organisation. And we've got none other than Annalise here to give us an idea of how this function works. She is our Students Services Coordinator, so thank you so much for joining, and the floor's all yours.
Thank you, Anish. Appreciate it. It's lovely to be here. Morning, afternoon, and good evening, students. It's wonderful to connect with you all virtually today. A warm welcome to both our current and prospective students from all around the world. My name is Anna, and I'm originally from South Africa. And I'm here as your Student Services Coordinator for Learna Diploma MSc. Our team's role is to support and guide you throughout your academic journey, from the moment that you apply right through to your graduation. So let me give you a quick overview of how our team is here to help you. First, we'll have our admissions team, as Kath mentioned earlier. They're your very first point of contact, guiding you through the application process and ensuring everything runs smoothly. Once you are enrolled, the Student Services team steps in. That's where we come in to support you throughout your studies. We help you navigate the learning platform and provide updates, make sure that you stay on track, as we know that you're all very busy medical professionals. We know how important it is to feel supported, so we've set up multiple ways for you to stay connected. We have WhatsApp groups for each course, allowing you to interact with your peers, ask questions, learn from them, and build a strong learning community. You'll also receive regular reminders and updates via WhatsApp and Moodle messages, keeping you informed about key deadlines and announcements. Looking ahead, here are some important dates to keep in mind. For those considering joining us in March 2025 cohort, applications close on the 7th of March. This intake begins with our Study Skills Orientation Week on the 10th of March 2025. And if you're thinking further ahead, our next recruitment intake will be in September 2025, with applications typically due in late August. At Learna, our goal is to make your academic journey as smooth and rewarding as possible, whether you're just starting or already deep into your studies. We're here to support you every step of the way. We look forward to welcoming you, and thank you for your time, and we hope to hear from you soon. That's it. Thank you so much, Anish.
Anna, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Okay, so that's the presentations, everyone. I hope you found that really beneficial. I've certainly learned a lot about Learna and the people within it, which I genuinely couldn't be more proud of. I guess for me, looking through the chat, there have been lots of questions. I'm pretty certain that they've kind of been answered as we've gone along from our student support team. For me, there were a couple of questions around, that personally kind of I can look to answer. One regarding fellowship and one regarding sort of PhD. They're kind of things we're looking at. We're at Learna, we're always striving to design new ways of presenting information, new programs, new opportunities, new courses. But if truth be told, I'm someone that really values student feedback, student suggestions, because the truth of the matter is, you're all experts in your own right. Yes, okay, you're looking to be students on our programs, but actually you've got a wealth of experience, yourselves, and so we're always looking for ways to develop. So if you've got any suggestions, if you've got any comments, then please do to email us, because we're more than happy to listen to feedback from our wide cohort of really informative suggestions and feedback, the likes of yourselves. But I hope you know, we've been able to answer a lot of your questions. I've certainly been keeping a really close eye on the chat, and I kind of think we have. Do remember, of course, that we've got, you can always email us in if you've got sort of further questions. I think for me, if I was to sort of bring this right back around, I think what at Learna we strive to do is we present our programs in a way, and I talk as a GP, I talk as a healthcare professional personally myself here, not just as head of medical education. Our programs are really designed to allow students like yourselves to excel in their own profession. I'll bring it right back to kind of what you guys have given us within the chat right at the beginning when I asked you those questions. You're looking for updating skills, updating knowledge in the spaces you're looking for these programs within, and you're looking for career progression. Do our programs allow you to do that? Well, I think they do. I think they do both things. For me personally, I think our and Dr. Holt touched upon this as well earlier. I think our programs are designed by healthcare professionals for healthcare professionals. We know what you guys will want to know. We've got experts that have designed these programs. Different to what I would call CPD, so continual professional development, where I might go to a course where I am taught by somebody that talks at me about things. Actually, we know, I know, you know, we all know that actually as healthcare professionals, we are presented with patients. As a GP, I'm in my own room seeing my patients of that day, right? And so, you know, I might come across a problem or a patient where I'm not quite sure of what to do. And as a GP, yes, of course, I've got colleagues in my surgery where I can knock on their doors and ask them. But actually, it's up to me to look into what I need to know for that patient. What is what I call a doctor unmet need, and a patient a patient's unmet need and a doctor's educational need. We call them puns and dens here. So what are the kinds of things I need to know? Well, it's up to me to go and learn about that, to be able to move on to the next step of investigating or managing a patient if there's something I'm not sure about. That requires me to go and personally look something up. And actually our courses are that. They're designed to allow you to engage in your own professional study with a group of other like-minded professionals, an MDT cohort of students where you can all share your own experiences, facilitated by an expert in that forum. Okay. I think the other thing is it's really important to reflect. We'll be doing this all the time. You know, I'm constantly reflecting on what I don't know, what I need to know, what I need to go and learn. So that's an upward spiral, I always say, in reflective practice. I think we also, through module activities, as an example of this, we really try and hone your skills, your postgraduate skills that will help you progress your careers. You know, I think one of the first things I did when I became a GP is I went and presented at a conference that kind of that gave me a little bit of authority in the space, a bit of credibility. You know, I was able to then post that on LinkedIn. I'm giving you personal experience now, where I was able to post a publication on LinkedIn, or I was able to put a poster up, which then starts getting a little bit of attention, etc. So does it help you with upskilling? Yes, I certainly think it does, and it allows you to develop your own mechanisms of self-study, looking things up yourself, looking at evidence. If I give you one or two simple examples, you know, a question we might add. So it's not a question and answer in the academic forum. It's not a, you know, what is the criteria specifically to diagnose type 2 diabetes? You know, what is the fasting glucose level needed? It may be more engaging would be, you've got a patient that presents with this level and they have a follow-up blood test at that level. Would you diagnose them with diabetes? It might just be just below the cutoff. What would you actually do in your practice? Would you say they're not quite meeting the criteria, so I'm not going to diagnose them? Or actually, are they at risk of tipping to diabetes? And so do you need to start that conversation with them? So it's really there, that academic forum is really there to make you think about what would you literally do if you're sat in your seat with that patient in front of you. It really tries to interrogate the evidence, and make you think laterally sometimes. That's a really interesting thing about the academic forum. So I think it does allow you to upskill your knowledge, and we've got testimonials to that extent. But I think also people have gone on and said, you know, a postgraduate certificate in medical education did give me an edge over somebody else that was applying to lecture in a university, or a postgraduate diploma in dermatology, for example, allowed me to land a position alongside a supervising consultant in a clinic. I'm not saying it will do that for each of you on this call, but that's some of the evidence that we've certainly got that it does help with career progression. So I hope that's kind of, I hope this afternoon has been engaging. I hope it's helped you gain an understanding a little bit more about Learna. It's been an incredible turnout. We've had kind of up to 80 people on this call, which has been exceptional. It's been really nice to meet you all. Hope it's been useful. And please, if you do have any further questions, please do email into us. We'll be more than happy to help. But
Anish, if you don't mind,
yeah.
I've noticed in the questions in the chat section that there's quite a few questions there around payments. I thought it might be helpful for everyone to learn that we've just launched a new payment plan option so that we can basically spread the costs of the programme across the time frame that the applicants are studying. But we've gone to great lengths to make sure that all of the pricing and the total price is completely transparent on every single programme page. So if I'd like to actually ask the applicants if they would like to go to the product page and make sure that they can see what pricing payment is available to them. I know affordability is a hot topic and a burning question that lots of our applicants have. Just wanted to make sure that everybody was aware that we do actually have that facility for helping students spread the costs of the programme across the entirety of their study.
That's yeah, really, really useful. Thank you, Rachel. Can I actually just ask everyone at Learna just to put their mics and cameras on just for 2 seconds as well? Okay, if anyone else is, and I'm just going to go around the room in essence, basically. So if I go to each of the people at Learna, because I don't think there's anything further in the chat. If there is, we'll keep a close eye on it and answer. But I'm just going to ask each of the people that have presented if they've got any sort of closing remarks, further thoughts, or any things they want to say, basically. So can we start with Rachel? Any kind of closing remarks, thoughts, etc.?
Oh, I need to thank everybody for attending today. I think it's really exciting to be on a call with so many people from all around the world and then contribute to those, answering those questions. It's really great to see everybody so engaged and to thank everybody at Learna actually for representing us and our guests as well. So yeah, please do. Everybody complete your applications, get your questions in. The cohort is going to start shortly, and we look forward to joining for you to join us actually.
Thank you, Rachel. Dr. Holt, any closing remarks, further thoughts?
I just hope to see some of you soon, maybe on the cohort starting in March or a cohort starting in September. And I suppose really it's just to say, you know, I've been working with Learna and this programme for many years. So there's obviously something there. I believe in it. And I also know that a lot of those that have done the programmes before you have certainly done very, very well and have really grown in their abilities and their confidence to make a difference within their area of healthcare. So if you've got any doubts at all, remove those doubts and just do it. That's what I say, to use a Nike phrase. Sorry, Nike.
I love that. That's amazing. That's brilliant. And actually, we've got kind of people in the chat saying they kind of want to be ambassadors, etc., which is really, really exciting, and it's really a testament to the team here at Learna. Kind of when we get those sort of comments. So thank you for that in the chat. Okay, we've still got up to 10 minutes if we need. Andrew, any closing remarks, further thoughts?
Yeah, just to say that whilst our method of teaching may seem a bit different to what you've previously experienced, we found that, it really is a really effective way of getting you guys to learn. It does take a little bit of getting used to, but you get used to it within the first 3 weeks, 4 weeks of the course, and it is a really effective way of getting all of that information into your brain so you can use it to improve your practice from day one of the course.
Yeah, thanks, Andrew. And actually, just on that point, actually, the other thing that's really important, everyone, really important here, is we very much value healthcare professionals are busy professionally, because I am and Dr. Holt will be, and I'm not disrespecting anyone else from Learna here, but kind of we, us two will know kind of how busy we are in the medical arena, as well as kind of all the other stuff that comes with it. So busy in professional lives, but more than equally personal lives. We do understand that you're all really busy doing lots of different things, clinically, non-clinically, at home, this family life going on. So our program, this is really key, everybody. Our programs are designed to be for you to fit around that. It's all asynchronous, it's all online. You've seen the platform. So I think that's a really key message to take away. We're not asking you to stop your clinic on a Thursday afternoon or a Monday morning or whatever. The idea is this should be digestible. As Andrew says, takes a bit of getting used to, but actually the student services team are really here to help, and I would hope that the afternoon you've had is shown that actually the platform allows you to do that. Okay, Kath, any further thoughts?
Just want to say again, really lovely to meet you all. Thank you so much for attending. It's important that we're here to help you every step of the way. If you do have any further questions at all after this, please don't hesitate to get in contact with us. It's I think around 3.5 weeks until our study skills start, so plenty of time to get your application in. And for everyone that's already enrolled, we can't wait to meet you. So yes. Really look forward to having you all join us in a few weeks. Thanks, everyone.
So much. And Anna, any further thoughts or comments?
Yes, you're not alone. So it can get hard. It is busy, but that's why we are here to support you every step of the way through your academic journey. We want to see the student successful. We've got great statements from student that's completed the course, and it's been hard. It's a level 7 qualification, but you can do it with the support of Learna. So well done.
Yeah, no, thanks, Anna. I think that's really key. And our graduation ceremonies, which we've just had a couple of weeks ago, are just testament to that. They're so amazing to go to these graduation events where people come with their families, they dress up in the robes, they have some food, they have some drinks, they celebrate, and it's an amazing, amazing thing to see. You talk to the students and they say, that was hard work, but it was well worth it. And so, it's a really exciting time at award ceremonies. We've just had one 2 weeks ago, so it's always really, really nice to see. So I guess I hope that's been really helpful. I kind of just want to end with saying, please contact us if you've got any further questions. We really hope to invite you all to one of our programs in the very near future. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you, Rachel, Dr. Holt, Andrew, Kath, and Anna for your time in making this possible. And actually, we've got people in the background, guys. I can't forget people in the background. There's lots of people in the background on the call and off the call that have been really instrumental in putting this together. So thank you to the whole team at Learna. Look forward to welcoming you all on our program soon. Thanks so much, everybody. Have a lovely afternoon.